Hello YouTube, Dr. Solar coming to you from Lagos, Nigeria. So this morning at about 6:30, my lights went out. The funny thing was, I had used my printer, everything about 30 minutes before, and my batteries were at over 50%. And 30 minutes later, I had no power. So exactly what happened? What do you think happened? I'll tell you right after this. So I'm back. So I came down to check, and instead of where it says on, there were numbers scrolling B00001, and the number was scrolling through. My batteries were 40 some odd percent. I had no PV because it was 6 something in the morning. It showed I was outputting 200 and some odd volts, but there was no consumption. So I started scratching my head. What could have gone wrong? So now I started to think everything possibly wrong had happened. That the Deye inverter, which I was bragging about and I was feeling so special about, had finally died. So before I came to that conclusion, what I did was I turned the power switch off. That's the power switch. I pushed it and held it, and then the inverter went off. I waited a little bit. I turned it back on again, and the B-000 whatever line was still scrolling on the screen, and the inverter wasn't coming on. Now at that time, once my power goes off, I don't have internet, so there was no way to communicate. But I have data on my phone, I roam it, so I went upstairs and I sent messages to the technicians at Deye. I'm getting the scrolling messages, the inverter is off, it's not inverting, what's happening? And you would never guess what it is that happened, why my inverter went off. So let me see if I could show you. It was doing a firmware update. And while it was doing that firmware update, it will shut off, complete the firmware update, and reboot. So that's exactly what was happening. It was performing an automated firmware update that caused the inverter to shut down. Well, it stopped inverting. After it completed, it will start to invert again. So the good news is there is nothing wrong with the inverter. All it did was an automatic firmware update. I'm not sure it went through because I shut everything off and turned it back on again. But if you do have a Deye inverter and it's connected to the internet like this one is, you can see my internet connection right there. You see the green light? Yep. Then it's incumbent and it's important not to panic if you see the B000 numbers scrolling where it should say on, which is right here. So instead of on, I had B00000, some numbers scrolling through, and the inverter wasn't doing anything. So if that happens to you, do not panic. Wait for the inverter to finish the update, and it will start to invert again. So if you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up. If you had to subscribe, please click on the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for notifications when I post my next video. And once again, thank you for watching. This is Dr. Solar, still very happy with this Deye inverter, coming to you from Lagos, Nigeria.